And welcome back to Patience is a Virtue, the YouTube channel devoted to finding value in futures sports wagering. My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to be taking a look at a market in the NBA Western Conference Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this is a market I've played before. It is the series correct score after 3 games. And if you've watched the other videos that I've done, you'll know that I like to place a double bet. One is going to be on the Oklahoma City Thunder to be up 2-1, and the other is going to be on the Minnesota Timberwolves to be up 2-1. Taking a look at this series, it's going to start tomorrow on Tuesday. Now, Oklahoma City, they just finished off Game 7 against the Denver Nuggets in the second round, and they finished that off on Sunday. So they're only going to have one day, which is Monday today, off, and then they have to play again tomorrow. Now, luckily, they do have home court advantage, so they're not going to have to travel, but that is a pretty quick turnaround. Minnesota, on the other hand, they won their series against the Golden State Warriors 5-1. So they've actually been sitting around for a while. They should be well rested. And it really wouldn't surprise me if they're able to go into Oklahoma City and be able to pick up a victory in Game 1. I really do think that while Oklahoma City is definitely the better squad, Minnesota is going to give them a lot of trouble, especially if Anthony Edwards is able to really go off and find his footing. And so I can definitely see Minnesota being able to steal at least one game in Oklahoma City. But I think OKC is too good to probably lose both games. So I do think that there's a very good chance that there will be a split in the first 2 games. And that's going to set us up perfectly for Game 3. That means that it doesn't matter who wins Game 3, we'd be able to cash this bet. I think Minnesota has a great chance of winning Game 3, which is why I do think there is value on picking them on at 2-1 after 3 games. And I don't think the Thunder are going to lose all 3 games. I definitely think they'll win at least one of the first 3 games. So in that respect, you got to at least give them one, and it's very possible that they can get 2 because I have a hard time seeing Minnesota winning all 3 games. I think these teams are going to be even enough where both teams should be able to get a victory somewhere in somewhere in the first 3 games. So that's why I really like 2-1 on either side. Now, the best price you can find on Oklahoma City 2-1 is plus 115. That's currently at DraftKings, and the best price I found on Minnesota 2-1, that is plus 300, and that is over at Bet365. So you can easily make a hedge bet on this if you go ahead and take both of them. You can definitely make sure that you are setting yourself up for profit because you're getting both of those at plus money. If you just want to take one and you don't want to have to risk doing 2 bets, I would actually go on the Minnesota side. I really do think that they've got a very good chance of taking at least one victory in Oklahoma City. And I think it's going to be difficult for Oklahoma City to go into Minnesota in Game 3 and get a victory. I think they're going to be hyped up for that game. I think the crowd's really going to be behind them. And so Minnesota will likely be favored in that match, especially if they got a split in Oklahoma City, which means you're going to get a better price on the Thunder if you want to hedge against them and you think the Thunder might take Game 3. So if you want to take just one play on the 2-1 exact result after 3 games, I would personally go with Minnesota, but I do think that there is value in taking and taking both teams actually, because you'll be able to sort of hedge that out right at the very beginning and make sure that you secure yourself a profit. I also want to really quickly revisit our WNBA Player of the Year award market. Now, I did before talk about taking Nafisa Collier at plus 400. And if you have followed that market, you'll see that after the first game, she's actually dropped down to the mid 250s or so. So if you were able to get a ticket on Collier at around 400, then you got some great value on that. And I think she does represent a very good possibility for winning the MVP. However, if you've also been watching, you'll notice that Caitlin Clark's odds have really dropped. She's dropped about 50 cents, and now she's down to around the plus 160s. Now, if you only have a position on Collier or possibly only a position on Asia Wilson, I do think you need to probably buy something on Caitlin Clark. She really is going to have the narrative, and she really is going to be leading what is likely a very high-powered offense in the Indiana Fever. So I think if you don't have a position on her, you probably want to grab something while it's still plus money. I didn't expect it to drop this fast after just one game, and I really do think that it's possible that it could drop even more, especially they have 2 games against the Atlanta Dream. And I think there's a good chance that the Fever can rack up wins in both of those games as well. So her price could drop even more. All the 3 of the favorites actually have dropped just a little bit. Collier has dropped the most. But it is probably time, although you don't want to buy the peaks on Caitlin Clark. I think you probably need to make sure you have at least a little bit of a ticket on her. It may not have to be a full hedge, but I would probably look at getting some part back on her if you don't already, just to make sure that you do have a position, because I don't think she's going to be going away, and likely her price will only go down just a little bit. So this is probably the time to buy at least a little bit on Caitlin Clark as well. And that's going to do it for this episode of Patience is a Virtue. Remember to always gamble responsibly, never bet more than you can afford to lose, and remember, patience is a virtue.